Good afternoon. Hello. I hope you all are doing amazing today. I cannot wait to dive into this live. Let me know how you're doing. Check in. As you could tell by the title, I don't know why the title does not show up on the screen. I believe I said quick manifestations, let go and accept magnetic wealth timelines. So I want to dive into this live because I do have some notes and have gotten some downloads this morning as to how I'm going to best support my community, how I'm going to best support you all. And I find that the more lives I give, the more posts I post, I'm getting closer and closer to my goal, which is turning on the light bulb in your minds that will allow you to fully shift into and embody your desire. So I'm going to be talking about, of course, dysregulation first and how that feels, right? Because of course we're talking about embodiment, and that has a lot to do with your emotional body, has a lot to do with your nervous system, regulating all of that. But I do want to talk about dysregulation because many of us do not know, or we're not aware that we are in dysregulation. And so what are the signs that we could start to pay attention to in order to know whether or not we are in dysregulation, right? A lot of us register dysregulation or feel dysregulation differently. The main ones are just self-limitation. So any self-limitation, anything that you feel like is holding you back to what it is that you actually want to experience. So let's say that you wake up and you don't feel like getting out of bed. It could be multiple reasons as to why, but it's more than just the feeling. It's the feeling is just the effect, right? The cause is the fact that you just do not want to move, you don't want to get up. And it could obviously be attached to all the other limitations, which is imposter syndrome, just fear in general, fear of success, which is real, if you make it, really, feeling as though you are trapped, right? And normalizing that is not something that you want to do, right? Normalizing fear of success, normalizing fear of change, normalizing procrastination, perfectionism, imposter syndrome. Those are limitations that are the cause to how you are experiencing life. So this is why it's so important to get regulated, because if you know, at least you know, when you are in dysregulation, you might feel tightness in your body. You might feel like, again, this is a physical hindrance on you waking up, getting up, and doing any sort of inspired action. Pay attention to it, right? Get deeper into why you feel the way that you feel. And even if you don't know why you feel the way that you feel, try to describe what it is that you are feeling so that you can move more freely in that space of, okay, well, is this imposter syndrome, or is this more like unworthiness and not enoughness? Is this feeling more like, lack of energy in general? Because some of us just don't have the energy in general to sort of execute on what it is that we want to do on a day-to-day basis. Manifestation requires that you have energy. It requires that you have this higher state going on within you, right? And it all has to do with energy. And so when you feel as though you are in the more obvious dysregulated states, which is survival, fight or flight, getting triggered and really spending time in your head, overthinking, overanalyzing, repeating the same traumas and the same experiences that are unfavorable to you on a continuous basis. That is all dysregulation. That's all self-sabotage. It's a limitation, right? So when you are in this space, and of course a lot of us who are noticing it, but just again, we pass it off as something that is normal. We think that dysregulation has been normalized. At least we feel as though it's been normal, right? It's been our day-to-day life, so we might feel like we don't have to change it. So what are some of the things that you can do to kind of check your regulation, right? A lot of this regulation activity talk, breath work, meditation, a lot of that work has to do with how you are living, right? If you are living in fight or flight and survival, you're just going, right? You're living in a more conscious, more linear, more mental state. And what you want to do is start to pattern break. You want to start to sort of break the patterns that you would normally typically robotically do by default, because you've trained yourself to, again, normalize this level of dysregulation. Therefore, you need to be able to sort of pattern disrupt so that you can change the way that you're perceiving yourself, the way that you're perceiving life, and the way that you're perceiving experiences. So this is very much, even though I'm talking about manifestations, this is very much also talking about self-concept and how you're experiencing yourself. And manifestation is key to or self-concept is key to learning how to properly manifest and quickly manifest. Your manifestation is only as good as your self-concept. So when you imagine, I'll get into the magnetic wealth activities that you want to start to do. You want to get deeper into the state of how you're feeling when you are communicating to yourself. You have this open dialogue. At least you have these thoughts that you think on a day-to-day basis. How are they making you feel, right? How are they allowing you to either feel into your desire or feel less of your desire? Are you reminding yourself that you are not experiencing what it is that you want to experience? Are you reminding yourself of the things that you are consciously seeing and not continuing to experience in imagination? Let this be an opportunity to allow you to see beyond your current circumstances, limitations. All of that stuff does not exist. So when you remind yourself that, okay, what I'm experiencing right now is not really in alignment, therefore it does not exist with the timeline that I have selected for myself. And this is the continuous conversation that you're going to be having for yourself or having with yourself is, how are you feeling? How would you like to feel? How can you feel deeper into this wealth, right? That is 100% accessible to you in this present moment. So when you get through that, right, start to switch from being in a state of survival, being in a state of, dysregulation, whatever that might look like, into a state of regulation, into a state of calmness, into a state of recognizing and knowing that you get to experience your desire in live time. And be mindful of the sort of activities that need to happen, that you need to be consciously intentional about, that will allow you to continuously live in this timeline. So I do want to talk about wealth, because wealth is something that a lot of us do want to acquire. We don't know how to acquire it. And we always think that we have to do, like, of course there is a doing part, inspired action, but that's an effect to the cause. So if you were to get anchored in knowing that you are the version of yourself that is embodied in wealth consciousness, you then change your identity. You then change your self-concept in knowing that you get to experience this timeline in live time. And it's because you consciously decided that you get to experience it. And I want us to go deeper with this, because a lot of us do have this sort of limitation that means that we cannot experience wealth. And my question to you would be, why not, right? If you are realizing that you are in dysregulation and you are starting to sort of, let go of this dysregulation through a series of, again, breath work and letting go, a lot of that angst, or a lot of that physical barrier, a lot of that blockage is going to dwindle away the more and more you get deeper into experiencing your desire. So while you are experiencing contrast, it's I was going to say it's a good thing, but what you want to rather do is when you're experiencing circumstance and you're experiencing the complete opposite of what you want to live, give yourself the opportunity to let go of focusing on, again, what is no longer serving you, and into a version that gets to experience your desire. I spoke in my stories about detaching and having faith with what it is that you want to experience, and living in imagination and really getting clear on what it is that you want to experience. So when you are in any sort of imaginal state, and then a lot of us like to do visualizations, it's important to know that you are in yourself, right? You're in your body. You're not inside yourself, but you're inside your body, and you're experiencing, you're kind of painting the picture as if it were real in your reality, in your imagination, right? And of course, this is, a technique that, that has worked time and time again for me. And you want to make sure that your body is in front of you, of course. Like when you are visualizing or when you're experiencing real life and you see like a phone in front of you, you probably are watching from a phone or from a laptop. Who is going to tell you that you are not experiencing the realness of seeing me through your screen, right? No one's going to tell you that. So you need to be just that convicted in your imagination of what it is that you are experiencing, right? So in creating the story, and this is really where it comes down to your creativity and knowing that you can tap into these perspectives of the universal laws of abundance. It's really the universal laws of wealth, and you'll find that there are universal laws supporting this. So if there are universal laws supporting this, how much can you really condense and move from your self-limitation? Because it's really just you getting in your way at this point. This universal law could be governed, or it could be used as a governance, like the government. I'm trying to say you could literally govern yourself by tapping into these universal laws of wealth, right? The laws of the law of abundance, the law of prosperity, the law of one. You being connected to everything and all things. This should be simple. This process really should be as simple as you making the decision and shifting into the version of self that already sees this wealth coming toward you. Whether that be 100K, whether that be 250K, whether that be $1 million, whether that be $100 million or $500 million. How far can you go in imagination, right? You want to be able to not only imagine this for yourself, but to feel it as real, like feel it real. Imagine how it would feel to acquire this wealth. What would you be doing? How would you govern your life? How would you decide to invest or spend it or save it? How would you look at yourself and everyone around you? Who are the people that are around you? What are you hearing from those people? What are you seeing from the decisions that you have made for yourself. What are you now experiencing now that you have acquired this level of wealth? You want to start to ask yourself this, right? So be mindful of where you are at on a day-to-day basis. The more aware you get in conscious awareness or just, subconscious awareness, and the states that you're feeling, the better and better you will get at shifting outside of dysregulation and maintaining your baseline level of awareness, which is your regulation, your stability, your security, right? Being safe in your body. Like, that's very important when you are shifting outside of dysregulation and into a state that is more sustainable. And of course, you want to tap into your version that is sustainable, that is sustainable first, so that you can tap into the sustainable version that of yourself that is wealthy, right? That is allowing your wealth to accumulate more wealth. And that's where you start shifting into creating your legacy, right? Building your legacy, creating your legacy, making sure that whatever you touch literally turns into gold, literally turns into more wealth, literally turns into more abundance and prosperity. Speak that into your life. Speak that into existence. What are you experiencing? Really get deep into that. And it might sound a lulu, right? It might sound very like far offish, and we need to it's only because we're not normalizing it. You will know when you are in dysregulation, when you have not normalized a certain amount of wealth that can have this sort of effortless flow coming into your life. If you are not normalizing wealth, what are you normalizing? Are you normalizing something that is sustainable? That's something, that's something that is, something that you desire? Because most of the time, if you are not normalizing wealth, if you're not normalizing, that energy of prosperity and abundance, and that everything gets to work out for you in all areas and aspects of your life, what are you normalizing instead? So really pay attention to that. If you are interested in learning more about how to simplify your manifestation process, how to get more embodied in your desire, feel free to either send me a DM or just comment in this live. I would be more than honored to walk you through how we could work well together. I have a bundle that is $97. It's probably going to stay $97 for the remaining of the year. For those of you who are just wanting to get more into how you can shift your self-concept into regulation, into emotional wealth, into emotional freedom, into acquiring this wealth, right? Because it starts from within and tapping into what is already yours. If you are tapped into everything and all things, and you believe in the universal laws, and you believe in the universal law of one, you are already connected. You are already living in your desire. You are already living in your wealth. You are already living as you wish, or as you imagine in imagination, as you imagine in imagination, or as you desire in imagination, right? So accept it, right? And if you have any resistance toward it, ask yourself why you are feeling resistance. It's probably because you still have a conditioning that you need to either address or release. I do releasing work every single day. I do my breath work every single day. I mean, we're breathing every day, but breath work to me is more intentional. Breath work is breathing in what it is that you truly want to experience, and letting go of what you no longer want to experience, and how that actually looks and how that feels. And normalizing wealth is also what you want to start to breathe in and continue to feed and nurture and sustain. I'm not talking about quick manifestations that go away after a week, or go away after 3 months, or go away after a year. This is sustainable. If you are sustained in your regulation and your releasing work, best believe this is law that you are going to receive your manifestation, that you are going to get the experience exactly as you imagined it, exactly as you are attuned to it, exactly as you are embodied in it on a consistent, sustainable basis. So send me a DM, comment, let me know what your thoughts are. I would absolutely love to walk you through how you can sustainably, again, quickly materialize, manifest desire. Manifesting desire is instant, right? There's no such thing as time. You don't have to wait to acquire this wealth consciousness, right? And the more you live by it, the more you see it in imagination, the more you feel it real in imagination, the more and more it's going to become your experience, which is law. It is law. So start assuming that, right? You could use what I'm saying right now in this present moment, and start to implement it. But if you do need additional support, I am here. Again, the bundle, if you just want to start, is $97. I cannot wait to hear more from you, because I know that this shifting outside of dysregulation and into more wealth consciousness timelines is going to change your life. It's I don't even need to further explain, like, you know how much a wealth would completely transform the relationship that you have with yourself, the relationship that you have with others, the relationships that you have, within business. It changes everything. So start shifting. And on that note, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next live. Cheers.